Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Katie Eagles. I'm Actionstep's Global Product Marketing Manager. And today we're excited to talk to you about our new integration with Docusign E-Signature. Today we have joining us is Slater Steins, Account Executive at Docusign, and Will Campbell, Head of Design at Actionstep. Before we get started, just a quick note about Actionstep if you haven't heard of us. We're 100% cloud-based legal practice management software. We're known for customization and automation. We were founded in 2004, and we've always been 100% cloud-based. We're used by around 2,400 law firms worldwide. So at Actionstep, we create practice management software that helps firms run their practice their way. In today's webinar, we'll discuss how Actionstep's integration with Docusign e-signature will save you time, enhance security, and get documents signed faster. Now, any professional knows that collecting signatures can be a time-consuming logistical nightmare. That's why Actionstep's partnered with Docusign to make your life easier when sending, receiving, signing, and tracking electronic signatures. You can now experience the world's number one e-signature platform conveniently integrated within your Actionstep system. Now I'll hand over to Slater, who will tell you a little bit about DocuSign.
Thanks, Katie, and thanks for having me today. Before we start, I want to put out a quick poll just to learn more about your familiarity with DocuSign, just to get a pulse of the audience and who we have joining us today. So if you could go ahead and take a moment to answer that, I'd appreciate it. All right, very even. About 25% across the board in terms of how often people use DocuSign. If you use another e-signature provider, that's super helpful. Thank you for answering. All right, so a little bit about DocuSign. We are the world's number one electronic signature solution. We're the best way to send, track, and sign any agreements in the day-to-day operations of your law firm. Using DocuSign, you can eliminate paper and manual steps and signature processes. So no more emailing back and forth, print, sign, scan, snail mail, any of it. What used to take days could be completed in hours or minutes using DocuSign. Across the Docusign e-signature customer base, more than 88% of agreements are completed in less than a day, 50% in less than 15 minutes. And along with speed to signature, firms can also eliminate errors and duplicate work by connecting e-signature with the systems and tools that you already use. For example, Actionstep. Law firms see real benefits from utilizing DocuSign, factoring in some material costs, but mostly time savings. There's an average dollar savings of $36 for every document that's signed via DocuSign. And as previously mentioned, 88% of agreements are signed in less than 1 day using DocuSign, leading to an 80% reduction in turnaround times. And we know that time is money, and spending less time on getting documents signed leads to freedom to do other parts of your day-to-day job. Below, you'll see a quote from Judy Flournoy of Kelly, Dry and Warren. She recently implemented DocuSign full scale at the firm, and she's just speaking to the overall efficiencies of using DocuSign and doubts that they will ever go back to a manual or in-person signing process after implementing. So what differentiates DocuSign? Why are we the largest and the most popular e-signature provider? There's many reasons, but quick few. First, unmatched security and scale. We are the industry leader when it comes to security and privacy. DocuSign has implemented rigorous policies, processes, and training to meet or exceed some of the world's most stringent privacy and security certifications. Envelopes are fully encrypted to ensure compliance and data privacy, and every completed envelope comes with an audit trail and certificate of completion, making it legally binding and court ready. Next, the Docusign Agreement Cloud. So Docusign e-signature is an integrated component of the larger Docusign Agreement Cloud, as we like to call it, which is the most comprehensive set of applications and integrations for digitally transforming the entire agreement process. not just the e-signature aspect. E-signature customers are uniquely able to tap into all the innovations that the Agreement Cloud has to offer, including our world-leading CLM offering 350 plus integrations with the softwares you use on a day-to-day basis, remote online notarization, and much more. So if the Actionstep integration will be your first experience with Docusign, I hope you thoroughly enjoy the software and know that there are many other features that could help your firm down the line.
Thanks later. ActionStep's integration with Docusign E-Signature allows you to select multiple documents within a matter, add recipients, opens Docusign where you can review your documents, apply labels, and send electronically to your clients for signing. Once a client signed a document, it's returned by email and you can assign the document and save it to your matters. This impacts the majority of law firms who need documents signed regularly. Some of the top use cases are sending engagement or service agreements to clients prior to commencing work. Since the integration's gone live, several transactions are being processed each day, and many law firms are using the integration, and that number has been steadily growing each week since launch. Feedback from our customers has been really positive. Some have said bringing the email across has been great. Previously, I was worried about getting it wrong, and it looks very intuitive. That's great. Now I'll hand over to Will, who will show you how the integration works.
Thanks, Katie. Going to take over the screen. Awesome. So I'm going to go through a really simple sign-in scenario today. As Katie mentioned, pretty common use case is getting this retainer or engagement letter signed. So in this matter here, we're in the engagement step, and this document here was actually generated as part of moving to the step. Obviously, you can generate documents at any time. And I'm going to go ahead and click send for signing. We're then presented with a list of all of the parties to this matter. Now, if there was multiple clients or multiple folks needing to sign this letter, I could select all of them here. In this case, it's just Aaron, so I'm going to go ahead and select Aaron and click continue. Now, this is going to then connect with the Docusign credentials I have added to my user profile previously and pop into the Docusign signing experience. Now, this is pretty cool if you're already familiar with Docusign, because this will be extremely intuitive and familiar to you. So you can see my generated letter for Aaron has turned up in here. And I can go and review it if I need to. Pretty confident this is looking good. And given this is a really simple letter, I just need to add one signature signing tab here. And so that's going to be where Aaron goes and signs on the dot. I can also see that all his credentials have been brought in from Actionstep. So as that one user alluded to, you're not having to worry about copying this sort of information and potentially making mistakes. So that's brought through here. If I need to change or curate anything else about the signing experience, I've got this menu here to be able to do anything like that too. So everything that you can do in Docusign today, you can do from within this integration. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and click send and fire that off to Aaron. And now I'm taken back to Actionstep where I can continue working. My colleagues could also see that this one has gone out for signing and that it was me that sent it. Now I'm just going to take over take it from Aaron's perspective for a second. And we can see that he's received this email containing a very simple call to action to go and review the document. And so from his perspective, he just easily goes through, very carefully reads this letter, of course, and goes and clicks sign. And for this letter, it's as simple as that, and applying his digital signature to this and clicking finish. And that's all the client needs to do, and they're finished. Now, if I take it one step further to the lawyer experience, so I'll take back the role as lawyer, and I can see that he's viewed this document. I'm just waiting for the signed document to come in here any second now. And it'll be typically running late because I'm demoing live. Usually it's quite instantaneous. But here's, boom, there it is. And so I've got this letter here. And again, I can go and then add this into the matter. So there's this matter there. And again, that's now been applied. The documents in the matter, I could go and choose exactly where in the matter, which folder it goes into if I want to. But I'm just going to leave it there for this demo. And yeah, that's a really quick scenario showing how Docusign could be used for that engagement letter process as part of an engagement step. And I'll now hand it back to you, Katie.
Thanks, Will. We're so excited to be partnering with Docusign. We decided to partner with Docusign because we more and more law firms moving to e-signature solutions to help create better client experience, to save time chasing clients, to sign documents. We've noticed this accelerate further with COVID, with in-office signing becoming a major barrier. Getting client engagement letters or service agreements signed can often be a burden, and we've heard from firms who end up having to just move on with a matter without getting this signed. DocuSign is the preferred e-signature solution for many of our customers. And previously, if you needed to have a document signed, you'd have to manually download your document, then re-upload your document into DocuSign, then copy, paste, or try and remember your client's details and send it to your clients. This was a manual, time-consuming process for our customers. Will, can you explain further why we chose to integrate with DocuSign?
Yeah, so I guess the key thing for us is obviously what Slater was talking about it being the market leader for law firms. So we already had a lot of law firms and folks at law firms contacting us asking about when an integration might be coming in the future. We also really found that DocuSign, the more we spoke to DocuSign, the more we could see their sort of product philosophy and all of the different integration points that they could offer in the future really aligned with where we see Actionstep and where we see legal tech, in fact. So for us, it was a bit of a no-brainer. And this is just the start. There's lots of really cool things to plug in across the different DocuSign, different features and other products within that suite. So yeah, we're really hoping to develop this further in the future too.
Just to summarize the key benefits, Actionstep customers who use DocuSign use the integration will save time and reduce costs. You'll be able to complete agreements much faster with significant savings by eliminating paper and manual processes. You'll be able to simplify life by making it easier for your clients and employees to do business on their mobile. And you'll be able to reduce your overall risk with DocuSign's full document encryption, and it will ensure compliance and data privacy. That concludes our presentation for today. Now we have a few minutes for questions. Please type your questions into the chat and we'll do our best to answer as many as we can. And if we don't have enough time to respond to your question, we'll answer your question by email after the presentation. Okay, thanks for submitting your questions. Our first question we have here is, can we still customize the message that comes out of the document? Will, do you want to grab that one?
Yes, so I don't know if you remember in my demo, there was an actions menu that had a drop down. So so when you use DocuSign regularly and log in to DocuSign, obviously the first screen is where you can add a message, and that's where you add your recipients. The recipients, obviously, we take care of that as part of this integration. That's why we jump you straight to the point of now to add stuff to the document. However, from that actions menu, you have things like being able to change the recipients if you want to, or add another recipient that perhaps wasn't an action step, or to change the message that would go out in that email. So basically, the email that we just saw here, you could actually obviously curate this as you can in DocuSign. You can do that as part of the experience. So that, yeah, that is entirely possible.
Another question we have is, will documents be able to be uploaded automatically in the future? Will, do you want to grab that one?
Yeah, sure thing. So that again is I sort of alluded to. This is phase one. We saw the major problems and hurdles that we observed with our users was basically running DocuSign completely adjacent to ActionStep, and what that really meant was having to download documents to your desktop, and that's obviously that starts to negate some of the security benefits of keeping everything in the cloud and keeping everything within ActionStep. Um, the other thing was, and it's not to mention a bunch of clicks going and adding that document back into DocuSign. The other benefit, the other benefit we chose to target was people manually copying recipients. So the parties from the matter copying their clients' details or keying in their names, and it's just those little things that are prone to potentially making mistakes. So that's what we targeted for phase one. And in a phase two or a later phase, we do really want to get into bringing that document in the second it's signed. So actually, even though we do have a pretty slick Outlook integration and also Gmail integration for bringing emails and their attachments back into the matters, we can make that go one step further and get that back straight into the matter. So that's something we're considering for a future version. And I'll actually just grab another related question, which is from John, which John asked if there was the possibility to add code tags, which is, if you recall, I had a letter that had been generated as part of the engagement step. Um, Obviously, that's one of our key pillars of our action step product is workflow and automation, and that document being generated because that client was at the engagement step as part of that. Now, the DocuSign integration, another future opportunity for us is to allow templates to include things like that signing tag that I dragged down and put on the bottom of the letter. In the future, perhaps that would actually be there already. So that's another thing we're considering, and that just again adds that little bit more automation. And there's other ways to make this even more automated in the future too. But yeah, great question. Thanks, John.
Another question we have is authentication methods. What are some additional authentication options for senders? Slater, would you be able to answer that
Yeah.
one?
Yeah, I can take that. So there's multiple verification options. Obviously, you're emailing it to the person that you want to sign, but if you want a second step in that authentication or verification process, you can use knowledge-based authentication, so KBA, answering questions about yourself. There's SMS verification where they receive a text to their phone, verify that it's them, and then they can fill it out. Even ID verification, where the client takes a photo of their ID and submits it for confirmation prior to signing. So multiple options, and all of those are usable and set up via the Actionstep integration currently.
Thanks, Slater. Another question we have here is, what DocuSign plan should I buy? And there's also been a few questions about pricing. So I'll let you field that one.
Yeah. So in terms of what kind of DocuSign plan you should buy, it depends for your firm and your needs specifically, but any plan will work with this integration. And in order to activate the ActionStep DocuSign integration, you would need a DocuSign subscription, and then you would plug in your DocuSign login information to ActionStep. My recommendation, and it'll be on the next slide, I believe, is to email actionstep@docusign.com, and we'll be able to qualify you, learn about your needs, how you're looking to use DocuSign and ActionStep, and figure out a plan that fits the firm's needs.
Great. Um, that's about our time now for today. We really appreciate you all joining us today. There has been a few other questions that have come through. So what we'll do is we will answer questions as soon as possible. We'll follow up with those via email. But thank you all for joining us today. If you'd like to learn more about ActionStep, please visit step.com. And if you'd like to learn more about our integration and sign up to DocuSign, please email actionstep@docusign.com, or you can scan the QR code below. Thank you all for joining us today. Have a great day.